Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sabrina, Zoho Books product expert. Today, we'll be looking into unlocking the accountant toolkit with Zoho Books. I personally believe that technical support is not just about fixing problem, but also empowering users with knowledge to navigate the system confidently. So, let us look into how accountant module works in Zoho Books and how this will help you. So today we'll be looking about accountant module. Before starting the session, let me get into the agenda of the webinar. So today we'll be looking about what is accountant profile, managing chart of accounts, working with journals, budget planning, bulk update, currency revaluation, transaction locking, reports, collaborating with your account, and a quick recap about the session, and we'll have a Q&A session also. So, what is accountant module and why it is used in Zoho Books? Accountant module is a foundational feature that streamlines your financial management. So, basically, using this accountant module in Zoho Books, you can pass manual journal, you can create currency adjustment, create budget, and you can also log the transaction if required. So without further ado, let us now dive into our topic on accountant module. We'll move into the accountant module. So before starting about accountant module, I'd like to let you know about the steps on how to invite your accountant in your Zoho Books. To invite your accountant, click on the settings icon in the top right corner. Under users and roles, you will have the option users. Once you click on that option, you will be redirected to this page to invite an accountant. Click on this option to invite the accountant, enter the name and enter the email address. Once that is done, an invitation mail will be sent to your accountant. If previously you have not created any roles for your accountant users, an automated role will be created. Using that invitation email, they can accept the invitation and access this Zoho Books organization. Now let us look into what are the modules, sub-modules that are available within accountant module. So the sub-modules that are available within the accountant module are manual journals, recurring journal, bulk update, currency adjustment, chart of accounts, budgets, transaction locking. So first we will be looking about what is chart of accounts module. So chart of accounts module is a basic feature in accountant module wherein the list of all accounts will be displayed. Whenever you create a new Zoho Books organization, by default, a set of accounts will be enabled for you. In other accounting software, you would be creating a ledger for customers and vendors separately. For individually, you'll be creating. But in Zoho Books, customers and vendors will be created directly from the sales and purchases module. But for and their receivables and payables will be tracked under a single account. So customers receivable in total will be tracked under account receivable and vendor payable will be tracked under account payable. So apart from this existing account, let us say if you have enabled taxes in your Zoho Books organization, in that case predefined taxes accounts will also be listed, like GST payable, TDS payable. So those kind of accounts will be enabled if you enable taxes in your settings. Apart from this, in addition to this account, if you would like to add new account, you can do it in Zoho Books. You have to click on this new account page, choose the account type, enter the account name. If you'd like to mark this as a sub account under any of the existing parent account, you can enable this option and select the parent account. Let us say if you want to monitor this account closely in the dashboard of Zoho Books, then you can enable this option and save the account. Thus the account will be created. You can see a lock icon corresponding to certain set of accounts. This lock icon indicates that these accounts cannot be deleted as these are system generated accounts, but you can edit these accounts. Next, let us say you have more number of accounts that needs to be created in your Zoho Books organization. For example, you have more than 50 accounts that needs to be created. Each time you cannot click on this new account button and keep creating it monotonously. So in that concern, we have given this option to import the chart of accounts. So you can import the chart of accounts in old. You also have the option to export the chart of accounts. Next, we will move on to our next module, working with journals. Zoho Books being an automated system, whenever you create a sales transaction or purchases transaction, an automated journal entry will be passed. Let us say you have a unique case which cannot be recorded under sales or purchases transaction. In that case, this manual journal will help you a lot. Let us say you are trying to record fixed asset depreciation. In that case, you can record it only as a manual journal. To record a new manual journal, click on this plus new journal option. You also have the option to associate branches with new journal. And you can enter the notes, which is a mandatory field. Journal type can be enabled, which is if it is a cash based journal. So accounting is based on two types. One is accrual based and another one is cash based. Accrual based accounting is when a transaction is created to record the income or expense even before the money is paid or received. But cash based journal is when you record the transaction only after the money is received. To record the fixed asset depreciation, I'll choose the depreciation account. I'll debit the depreciation by the value. I'll choose the fixed asset account and I'll credit the same value. Please note that you also have the option to associate contacts with your manual journal. So you can choose your customers and vendors from here. Say for example, you would like to associate a foreign currency customer. In that case, you have to change the currency, select the respective currency and then choose the contact from here. Now you can save and publish this manual journal. So saving the manual journal is of two types. One is you can save it as draft, wherein this manual journal will be created but will not be taken into consideration for the accounting. When you save and publish it, this manual journal will be created as well as taken into consideration for the accounting. So this is about manual journal. Now let us see an unique case wherein what happens when a bank account is associated with the manual journal. So I have already published an account. I have already published a journal for fixed asset. I'll show you this is how the fixed asset journal entry will be. And regarding the bank account journal entry, I'll show you. So here I have associated the bank account as well as an income account in this journal entry. Whenever I am creating a journal entry associating a bank account, a respective entry in the banking module under the respective bank in the all transaction tab will be added. So the journal entry will be added with the status as manually added. The next section, let us say you have other users in your organization who will also be creating manual journals. In this case, let us say they have no accounting background. So you can help them to create manual journals by creating templates. So let me first introduce how to create a template and then how to use that template to create a journal. So creating, you have to click on this option, click create template. So creating template is of two types. One is account based template, the another one is amount based template. So to create a template, now I'll show on how to create account based template. So let us take the same example, fixed asset depreciation. So the fixed asset account, the fixed asset will be credited. My depreciation account will be debited. So when I create this template with these type, my asset account can be only a credit value. That is, my debit value will be disabled. Similarly, this depreciation account, for this depreciation account, I can only enter the debit value. I will not be able to enter the credit value. So next is how to create a template based on amount. So I'll enable this option, enter an amount, and I'll enter the debit and credit value accordingly. So I'll show you how this works when creating. So this is how you will create a new tab. So to create from the template, you have to click on create from template. I've already created 2 templates. So this is an account based template. So I'm selecting this. Once I select this, you can see this adjustment account has only the credit value field editable. But here I am not able to access because I have chosen the type as credits there. Similarly, for automobile expense, I can only enter the debit value and I will not be able to enter the credit value as I have chosen the type as debit. Now I am choosing a template based on amount. So automatically for any contra, so this is a bank contra entry that I have posted. So automatically along with the amount and the account, both are reflected. So this is how you create manual journal from the templates. Now let us say you have passed a manual journal, but by mistake you have associated 2 different accounts. Now you would like to change it. In that case, if you don't want to delete the manual journal, you can post a reversal entry for that published journal entry. You just have to click on that entry and click on the 3 dotted icon and click create reverse entry. So an automated reverse entry will be created for the published journal. So this is about manual journal. So next we'll move on to the next module, recurring journal. So recurring journal is basically a recurring profile that creates manual journal automatically for a specific interval. So let us see how to create a new recurring journal. So you just have to click on the plus new icon. Everything will be the same like creating manual journal, but here you have to enter the profile name, choose the frequency. If it is going to be weekly or monthly or yearly, you can choose the frequency, select the start date and select the end date. If you don't have an end date, you can enable the never expires option. You can enter the other values and save. Once that is done, a child entry will be posted. So what is the use case of recurring journal is like if you would like to record rent expenses, you can make use of this recurring journal module. So I'll show you how the child and journals will be posted. So under this child journal tab, you can find a list of all transactions which are posted. You can also find here the status of the transactions are in draft. So you can also change this based on your preference. You can find the option to change it from the settings. So go to settings, under preferences, click on the accountant tab. Under accountant tab, you can find the section recurring journal. Under this, you can choose the option in which you would like to publish the child journal. So you also have the option to stop and delete the recurring journal. This is about recurring journal. Let's move to the other interesting module in accountant module, which is budgets. So budget is basically a financial plan that outlines your organization income and expense. So why is budget used? So this helps you to know more about how your business is performing, to set a target and to make spending decisions accordingly. So there are 2 types of budgets in Zoho Books: account level budget and product level budget. So accounting level budget is set to be organization level budget, where you will be creating budgets from the accountant module. So project wise budgets is also possible, that you will be creating from tracking module. So we will be now looking into just accounting level budget. So to create a budget, you have to click on this plus new budget icon, enter the name, choose the fiscal year. So I am just creating a budget. I am choosing the fiscal year. I am choosing the budget period. You can also select the branch if required. Once that is done, you can select the income account. So if you'd like to include certain accounts you can select. And this you also have the option to select all expense account. Once that is done, you can select the asset, liability and equity account and create the budget. So once you create the budget, you will be redirected to another page wherein you will be entering the values for income and expense account and asset and liability and equity account. So filling in the value is of three types. So you can either go manually and enter the values, or you have the option to pre-fill from previous year's actual. So here you have the option. So this is nothing but, let us say you have created a budget for the previous year. So you can fetch the previous year actual and bring into this budget as this budget value. So previous year actual can be fetched and imported as the budget value for the current budget you are creating. Next is you have this autofill value. So let us say you want the same amount to be applied to every budget period. So this value is going to be 5,000 throughout the row. So you can select this apply fixed amount for each period and enter the amount. Let us say you want this amount to be adjusted over each budget period by certain value. In that case, you can choose the adjustment amount option and enter the first period amount and the adjustment amount in this amount field, such that the first period amount will be adjusted using this amount for each budget period. If the same you want to do it in percentage, you can select this option adjustment percentage and the changes will be made accordingly. You can click apply and the budget will be created. Next, you have to fill in the asset, liability and equity account and save it. So I have already created a budget there. I'll just show you how this works. So this is the budget that I have created. I'll edit and I'll show you. So I have previously entered values. So here under the asset, liability and equity account, tab, you will find an account called budget mismatch account. So budget mismatch adjustment account is an equity type of account. This will come when the total asset value is not equal to the total liability and equity value. So total liability and equity value is not equal to the total asset value. This account will come into play. So once you save this, you will have three different reports: profit and loss, balance sheet and cash flow statement. So profit and loss in this budget module will help you to know calculate what is the net profit and net loss based on the net income and net expenses you have entered. So based on the value you have entered, the profit and loss will be generated. Similarly, for the balance sheet, this helps you to predict your total asset, liability, equity values. And similarly, the cash flow statement, this helps you to forecast the cash in and cash out of the organization for the selected fiscal year. And this budget mismatch account will be reflected in both balance sheet and cash flow statement report. Now let us move to the important part of the budget module, which is to view budget versus actuals. So this report will compare the trends of actual, that is how I am spending and what are the transaction that has taken place. Based on that, it will compare the actual value with the budget value and generate me this report and give it. So the profit and loss report will be generated, and I'll know about which are the accounts that has gone over budget. If I have spent more than my income which has been mentioned in the budget value, it will be indicated in red color. Similarly, if I have gone under budget, so the value which I am spending is comparatively lesser than the value that I have entered in the budget value, then it will be indicated in green color. The same goes for expenses. If I am spending more or if I am spending less, it will be reflected accordingly. And each balance sheet and cash flow statement will be generated, and this can be exported also. You can perform customization if required. So this is about budget module. Now we'll move on to our next module, which is bulk update. Let us say you have created more than 100 transactions and by mistake you have recorded under a different account. Now you would like to change all these transaction and track it under a different account. Okay, so in that case what you will do is it will be time consuming if you go and click edit and you change the account. Instead what you can do is you can make use of this bulk update module and you can filter all the transaction and bulk update it. To filter and bulk update, click on this filter and bulk update option, select the account. Say for example, my cost of goods sold account. I am selecting. You can apply other filters also, like based on date range or amount range, or only for these customers I am going to bulk update. You can select and you can search for the transactions. The list of transactions created for the particular account will be listed. You can just select those account and click update. Once you click update, you can choose the new account under which you would like to record these transactions. Please note that, so let us say the transaction is in progress. So once you create here under the status, you will be getting as in progress if the bulk update is taking place. If you are doing it for more number of transaction, obviously it's going to take more time. So it will be in progress. If you face any error, you will have the status as completed with failure. So that will be your status. And if you'd like to bulk update, void and cancel transaction, that will not be possible. Only the existing transactions can be bulk updated. So now let's move to our next module, which is currency adjustment. So currency revaluation module helps you, so basically you know that exchange rate fluctuation can significantly impact a business profit or loss, right? So to ease that, this currency adjustment comes in handy and helps us. This currency adjustment brings all the outstanding balances and generate a single exchange rate. Let us say for an example, you have configured different currencies in your books organization. That is, you have configured USD as well as Euro. In that case, the currency adjustment for different currencies has to be passed individually. For USD, you have to pass a separate currency adjustment, and for Euro, you have to pass a separate currency adjustment. Now, let us see how to make an adjustment. Let us say you have created an invoice on March 15th. Now you are going to close your account. That is on March 31st, the end of an financial year. So to make an adjustment, click on this make an adjustment option, select the currency and enter the updated exchange rate, enter the notes and continue. Okay, once that is done, the list of all transactions which are recorded under the account receivable and payable for the particular period for this currency will be listed. You can just select those transactions and make an adjustment. So I have already made an adjustment. I'll show you. So once I have made an adjustment, the balance will be updated accordingly. So here the balance previously was 3,18,000, whereas after passing the adjustment, it is 3,51,000. The gain or loss amount will be tracked, calculated and displayed accordingly. So as I said earlier, so the invoice we raised was on March 15th and we closed the accounting, which was on March 31st. Now we have passed exchange rate difference. Now let us say your customer has made payment on April 15th. So you will be recording the payment received on the exchange rate based on that particular date, correct? So the exchange rate has to be reevaluated, right? For these transactions. So you have that can be made within a single click by clicking on this reevaluate option, and when you select as that particular exchange rate will be captured and the transactions will be updated accordingly. So this is about currency adjustment. Now let us move to our next module, which is transaction locking. So let us say you have completed your auditing and you have finalized your accounts. So in that case, you would like to lock the accounts. So in Zoho Books, you have the feature to lock individual modules as well as all the transactions in whole. So to lock all the transaction at a single click, you can click on this option, click lock, and you can lock the modules completely. If you'd like to lock individual modules, you have to go to that particular module, click on the lock icon, select the lock date, enter the reason, and click lock. Once that is done, the module will be locked. Let us say you would like to make some changes now. In that case, you can either unlock partially or unlock completely. So let us say you are trying to unlock partially now. You will click on this unlock partially now option. Choose the partial unlock period. So you will select the period for which you are trying to unlock. You will enter the reason and you will unlock it. Post that, if the system will automatically lock it, or you also have the option to lock it again completely. So if you want to unlock it completely also, you have this option to unlock completely. You just have to give a reason and unlock it. So this module helps you to even more effectively manage and restrict your users to make any change post auditing. Now let us move to the reports module. In Zoho Books, we have 75 plus reports. So we'll be looking into the reports of the accountant section. In accountant section, we have 8 reports. So account type, summary, and we'll be looking up into each report individually. So first, let me take you into account transaction report. So account transaction report is, this report fetches you all the transaction along with the details of the account they are linked to, with the debit and credit value and the current value. So this report basically helps you to know about every transaction that has been recorded in your Zoho Books organization, not just transaction but also journal entries. So let us say you would like to customize this report and you want the report to be fetched only for the account receivables or account payables accounts. So in that case, I'll just click on this more filter option. I'll select the account. I'll select the comparator as ISIN. I'll choose the option accounts payable. Now when I click run report, all the transactions which has been associated to the accounts payable account will be fetched and displayed for the date range I have selected. So I have selected as this year. So for this year, all the transaction which has been associated with the accounts payable account will be listed. Let us say you want this to be grouped based on certain criteria. You can use this option, and based on contact or a branch or the account type, this will be grouped and displayed. If you'd like to add or remove columns from this report, you can click on customize report column and select the column which you'd like to add and remove and apply it such that this customization will be reflected here. You also have the option to export this report in different format. So this is not just based on account transaction report, this is also applicable to other reports. Now let us move on to our next report, account type transaction report. Account type transaction report is very similar to account transaction report. The only difference here is, here it will be grouped based on the account type. So if all the account payable transaction all associated with the account payable account will be reflected here, and similarly for other accounts. So this is about account type transaction report. Next we will move on to the report day book. So let us say at the end of each day, at the end of each business working day, you would like to know what transaction has been passed in your books. In that case, you can generate this day book report and know what transactions, what journal entries has been passed for the selected date. You can click on this date and run the report and view the list of transactions which has been created on that particular date. Next, we will move to our next report, account type summary. So account type summary gives me the debit, credit, opening balance and closing balance value, and this will cumulatively give me based on the account type. So under asset account, what all the account and what are their debit, credit, opening balance and closing balance difference will be fetched and displayed. So basically this report will be grouped based on the account type: asset, liability, equity, income and expense. So next we'll move on to our next report, general ledger report. So general ledger report, I'll tell you how this works. So general ledger report basically gives us the debit, credit and the current balance of every account. So let us say you'd like to compare these values to your previous year value. So that is possible using this compare with option. You can select the period in which you would like to apply the value. So my last year value will be compared with my this year value. So this is general ledger report. Now we'll move on to our next report, journal report. So journal report is, this report fetches me all the journal entries that has been passed in your Zoho Books organization. That is, even if it is an automated entry or the manual journal that you are passing, all the entries will be fetched and displayed here. So this helps me to know what are the journal entries has been passed over the specific period. Next is, we'll move on to the very important report, which is trial balance report. Let us say you are migrating from another software to Zoho Books. You will be importing your opening balance, right? On the date of migration, you will run a trial balance report in your previous accounting software, import it as opening balance here, and to check if this opening balance matches with the current opening balance that you have entered, you will generate the opening trial balance report for the migration date, and you will check if this goes well with the one you have exported from the other accounting software. So basically the use case of this report is that the debit and the credit value matches. Now let us look into specific features which are available in reporting module. So let us say, so previously I said you would like to customize the account transaction report only for the account payable account. Each time you would like to generate this report, it would be monotonous if you keep clicking on more filter and selecting the option. Instead, you have this option to create custom report in Zoho Books. So you have to click on this icon in the top right corner, and the filter that has been applied to the report will be here. If you want, you can add additional filter. You have to click on this option, save as custom report. This will take you to a page wherein the filter that has been applied will be displayed. Next, in the next column, you can choose the columns which you would like to display and hide. You can have a general report layout here. You can have an idea on how your report would be. Next, under the report preferences, you can enter a name for this custom report, and you can enter the name for the export, and you can also configure the permission. If you want this report to be viewed only by you, you can select it, or if you want selected users to be displayed, you can select it and you can save it as a custom report. Now let us say you want this report to be exported and sent to you on a regular basis over a specific interval. In that case, you have this option called schedule report. You have to click on this clock icon here and you can schedule the report. You can choose the frequency. If you want to be daily or monthly, you can select accordingly. Start the end time. Select the time when you would like to schedule. You can choose the email recipients. Choose the file format. If you would like to if you want to stop this scheduling, you can click on this mark as inactive option, and this will stop. So this is about reports of accountant module. Now let us move to an interesting module. So I hope many of them would wonder, what is this My Accountant module about? Why we didn't get this option in our Zoho Books organization. So I'd like to inform you that so this is let us say you have an accountant. So you are an accountant firm. Let us assume you are an accountant professional. You are running an accountant firm with a few of your colleagues, and you will be managing your clients' auditing. So what will happen is on the financial year ending, you will be getting all their documents, you will be auditing. So to ease this, so if you are managing more than 50 or 60 clients, if you are under the, you will be added in their Zoho Books organization, or if they are using some other accounting software, you will be added in that accounting software too. So how will an accountant know how effectively he is managing his clients? So we have launched Zoho Practice. So Zoho Practice organization helps in day-to-day operation of every accountant. So what happens if the account if the clients of this accountant is not a Zoho client? So this works anyway. Let us say you are an accountant and you are managing both Zoho clients and non-Zoho clients. You can add both Zoho clients and non-Zoho clients in your Zoho Practice organization. If they are using Zoho application, so basically they need to be accessing 5 Zoho application. I'll show which are the applications that are supported. So this is how you will create a new client. So the application that are supported on behalf of Zoho is Zoho Books, Zoho Expense, Zoho Payroll, Zoho Inventory, Zoho Ledger. So what is Zoho Ledger? Zoho Ledger is basically an accounting software which is very similar to Zoho Books, but this will be created only for the clients of Zoho Practice. So if an accountant wants to add his client who is using Zoho Books or a Payroll or other Zoho application, he can create and choose accordingly. What happens if they are a non-Zoho client? They can just disable this option, add them, and they can communicate over customer portal just like how we do it in Zoho Books. So once you create the client, you have the option to associate your user. So as I said, you are an accountant and you have other colleagues who will be assisting you in tasks which are created for the clients to complete the auditing, right? So you can also add these user to this client, associate these selected users to the client such that those users will be added in the client's books organization. So the client's books organization will be there and these users will be added as a free users. Let us say your client is in standard plan. By default, the standard plan we have 3 users supported. When you are adding from Zoho Practice, your colleagues, they will be added as free users in Zoho Books of your client's organization. So then you can create client requests. So at the time of auditing, you might require certain information. So you can create client request. So client request is of 3 types. You can, if you want any signed request, if you want your clients to sign certain documents in order to complete the accounting, you can get. If you have a set of questions that needs to be asked as an accountant, you can post those questions and your client will answer this and answer those questions. So basically this is like you will have a record for how your client's organization is performing, how their business is performing, and how your auditing is done. You also have this insights module. You will have an overall picture of how your client's business is performing. You can view. If they have connected to banking, you can also view that from your Zoho Practice organization. We know that auditing has multiple tasks, right? It's not just one task. If it has multiple tasks, and let us say each of the tasks is billable. So you can create tasks, you can assign it to your other accountants and ask them to complete the task, and you can build this from your Zoho Books organization. In the accounting firm Zoho Books organization, you can go and build this task. So work paper, this will give you a more financial report on how your client organization is performing. So basically I'll show you an open work paper, how this works. So you can view a trial balance, profit and loss, balance sheet of your client from this practice org. You also can view, and if you find something which is an entry which has been posted by mistake, you have, as an accountant, you have the option to pass new journal and make an adjustment entry. So you can view all this in a single click. So this is about Zoho Practice. You can also suggest this to your accountant if you want to have an you can communicate, you can chat, initiate chat from Zoho Practice to Zoho Books. So if you want an effective auditing or tax filing, you can suggest this to your customer. This will help you as well as your accountant. If you are an accountant, this will help you, your client. So this works as an effective tool for tax filing, auditing, all those purposes. So this is about Zoho Practice. I'll just give a quick recap about what we saw in today's session. So today we saw about how accountant module works. So we began with how to invite an accountant in your organization and what are the sub modules which are available in the accountant module. Then we spoke about chart of accounts module, how to create a new account. If we have more number of account, we have the option to import the account, and we saw the difference between manually created account and system generated account. Next we moved on to our manual journal module, where we passed automated journal, where we passed journal entries and where we created journal entries from templates. And then we saw about recurring journal, how to stop it and how to change the status of the child manual journals which are passed. Then we saw about budget module. So we saw the difference between accounting level budget and project level budget, and how to create a budget, and how budget versus actuals report helps us to know our financial position of our organization. Then we saw about bulk update, how to change the accounts if it is mistakenly recorded under a different account. And we saw about how to post exchange currency adjustment when due to exchange rate fluctuation, and how to reevaluate it. Next we saw about transaction locking module, how to unlock completely or unlock partially or lock completely, and how to lock all the modules in a single click. Then we saw 8 reports about accountant module and what are the difference between them. And we mainly we saw about trial balance report. Then we saw in the report module how to create custom report and schedule a report. Then we moved on to Zoho Practice, which helps each accountant to manage their clients' auditing effectively. So I just explained about how Zoho Practice works and how it can be managed for both Zoho client as well as non-Zoho client. So I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, you can post it in the questions tab, in the chat tab. We'll be happy to assist you. Can we add some percentage from previous year, say 15% from previous year, and it should automatically fill the current year budget amount? Yes, this is possible. So as I said earlier, you can pre-fill the amount from previous year actual, and then you can click on the budget autofill option and select the option adjustment percentage and choose the percentage by which you would like to increase. So this is the answer for this question. So next question is from Jignesh Bhatt. So how to see customer or vendor ledger with narration and item description with debit and credit and running balance column. So to view, let us say you want to view all the customer and vendor ledger, you can go to sales customer, select a customer, you will have a tab called statement in the overview page. So from that you can fetch the customer statement. So that is based on transactions, right? So you will not be able to include item description in that because that's a transaction level report. So you can fetch the customer and vendor statement accordingly from the vendor overview and customer overview page. Next, the question from Manjunada, it is from which website the currency exchange rates were automatically picked by Zoho accounting software. So we are fetching the exchange rate from open exchange rate and we are displaying it in Zoho Books. So here is another question from Navin B. While preparing a custom P&L, why am I getting an account description? Can't I remove that column? I presume that you are referring to Schedule 3 report. So in Schedule 3 profit and loss report, you will have a notes section. So I think you are referring it as account description. So that is mandatory in Schedule 3 and you will not be able to remove it. The next question from Aruna is, we need all the transaction data from purchases for both TDS detected and TDS not detected. So if you'd like to know about the purchase transactions for which TDS was deducted, you can refer to the TDS payable report from the reports module. If you want to list down and view the transactions for which TDS was not detected, we recommend you to refer the bill details report. and there you can find. So we have answered most of the questions that was asked, and for the remaining questions we'll reach out to you via email. And if you have any further queries or questions, this is our email address. You can reach out to us, support.india@zohobooks.com, or our toll free number. We'll be more than happy to assist you. Thank you so much for your time.